The creature in the dark zone, the ship Raven 7, dropped out of warp above a black planet. It floated in the cold, silent dark, like a stone in deep space. No lights came from the surface. No life signs. No communication. Just cold, dead silence. Captain Alara stood at the window of the command deck, her face calm but focused. The rest of the crew looked nervous. "This is the place?" asked Sergeant Rico, checking his gear. "The dark zone?" "Yes," Ilara replied. "No ships return from this planet, but we're not like others." A soft voice broke the silence. "Maybe they never asked the right question," said Dr. Milo, the team's biologist. He wasn't carrying a gun. He wore a small backpack full of scanning tools and had a strange, calm smile. Lieutenant Tessa shook her head. "You think that thing on the planet wants to talk?" "I don't know what it wants," Milo said. "But I don't think it wants to kill us, at least not yet." Everyone stared at him. The warnings they ignored. Before the mission, 3 alien governments warned Earth not to go near this system. The planet below, called Vornek, was marked with red in every galactic chart. The Varnok Empire called it cursed. The Sari called it the place of endless eyes. And the Kryn just called it death. But Earth Command sent the Raven 7 anyway, not because they wanted war. Because humans were curious. Because humans did something strange in the face of danger. They leaned in. First steps into the unknown, the shuttle dropped through the black clouds of Varnak. No stars above. No light below. Only the small lamps on their suits lit the way. The crew landed near a broken alien structure. It looked old, older than any ruins found before. Metal twisted into impossible shapes, symbols no one could read. No birds. No wind. No sound. Suddenly, Milo stopped walking. "Do you hear that?" he whispered. Tessa looked around. "Hear what?" "There's nothing." But Milo was staring into the black. "Breathing," he said. Then the lights flickered. The first glimpse, his shape moved just for a second in the dark. Huge. Slow. Soundless. Rico raised his weapon. "There!" he shouted, but there was nothing. The crew stood in a tight circle, every light pointing outward, breathing heavy. Guns ready. Then something stepped forward. Out of the darkness. It had no eyes. No mouth. Just smooth black skin. Taller than any man. Its arms were too long. Its chest didn't move. But it stood there, watching. Tessa aimed her rifle. "Say the word, Captain." But Alara didn't speak. She waited. Then Milo did something insane. He took off his glove and stepped toward the creature. "Don't, Dr. Milo!" Tessa shouted. But Milo held up one hand. "It's not attacking. Look at its body. No tension. No threat, I think. I think it's waiting." He walked closer. One step. Another. The others watched in horror. The creature didn't move. Then Milo reached out and touched it. Not a monster. The creature flinched, but didn't attack. Instead, it tilted its head. Milo pulled back. "It feels cold and alive." Then the creature leaned forward. Its face, if it had one, came close to Milo's helmet. A strange light shimmered across its skin. Then it stepped back and it bowed. Nobody moved. But spoke. So whispered. "What the hell just happened?" Milo looked at the others. The defense the Yevon ship charged its main weapon. A blinding beam aimed straight at the Raven 7. But before it could fire, the Guardian vanished from the ship's hull, teleporting. A second later, the red alien vessel began to shake. Inside, Yevon soldiers screamed. Darkness filled their ship. Lights exploded. In 1 minute, it was over. The ship broke into 2 pieces. Silent, dead, the Guardian returned, smoke trailing from its long arms. It didn't kill everyone. Milo looked at the alien wreckage through the ship window. I saw escape pods, he said. It didn't kill everyone, just the ones who fired. Tessa blinked. Why? It's learning, Milo said. From us. Gifts of the forgotten back in the crystal chamber. The Guardian returned to the glowing stone. It touched the crystal again. But this time, something broke free. A glowing orb floated toward Milo. It entered his chest light, spreading like ripples in water. Milo fell to his knees, gasping. When he stood, his eyes glowed faint blue. I understand, he said softly. I can feel what it feels. It's giving me something. What? Ilara asked. Milo's voice was distant. Memory, power, pain, and choice. The beginning of a new bond. Captain Ilara gathered the team. Whatever happens next, this thing trusts Milo, and Milo trusts it. So we stick together. Tessa looked unsure. Even if the rest of the galaxy comes for us. Rico added, even if Earth tells us to back down? Ilara nodded. Especially then. Outside the ship, the Guardian waited. Final scene. The walk into the stars as the Raven 7 rose into orbit again. Milo stood beside the Guardian in the rear bay doors. Where do you want to go? He asked. The creature turned its head toward glowing star system. Somewhere it remembers. Milo said. Ilara gave the order. Set course. Let's see what memory looks like. The ship entered warp. And the monster followed. Not as a weapon, but as a friend. The ship Raven 7 moved through deep space. Outside, the stars looked peaceful. But inside the ship, strange things were happening. Dr. Milo was asleep, but in his dreams. He was not alone. The dream begins. Milo stood on a mountain made of broken metal. The sky was red. Planets burned above him. And beside him stood the Guardian. But it looked different here. Its body was glowing. It had arms made of fire and a face made of shifting light. Its voice was not a sound, but a deep feeling inside Milo's chest. You're listening now. Milo stepped back. Where are we? A place that does not exist anymore. My first home, before I was changed. Memories that hurt the world around Milo changed. He now stood in a great hall, filled with light and laughter. Beings of many shapes worked side by side. The Guardian was one of them, smaller than, with bright silver skin. They made you? Milo asked. They loved me at first. I protected, I served, but then, they asked me to burn. The scene shifted. A peaceful world, children laughing. And then fire from above. Ships attacking. The Guardian hovered above, refusing to fire. I said no. Because it was wrong. Milo whispered. Because it was life. Punishment. The dream shifted again. The Guardian was in chains, screaming, pulled apart. Eyes removed. Voice stolen. The voices around it screamed. Too dangerous. It must be locked away. Let it sleep forever. Then blackness, a long cold silence, until Milo touched it. Back on the ship, Milo woke with a sharp gasp. His face was wet with sweat. His heart raced. Elira and Tessa ran in. You screamed, Ilara said. Again. Milo sat up, wiping his face. It's not just dreams anymore. It's showing me things. Things from before it became this. Tessa frowned. Why? You? I don't know, Milo said. Maybe because I don't look at it like a monster. He stood slowly. It wants something. It's not angry. It's wounded. The signal in the control room, a strange signal appeared. "It's not a distress call," the comms officer said. "It's something else." The Guardian, floating outside the ship, turned suddenly. Its body glowed. Then, for the first time, it spoke aloud. A single word. Across every speaker, in every language. "Home." The ship shook slightly. The stars outside bent and twisted. A gate opened. Not made by humans. Not made by machines. It was alive. Crossing the gate, Ilara looked at Milo. "Is this safe?" He nodded slowly. "It's where it wants to go. I think it needs to finish something." The Raven 7 passed through the gate. Light swallowed the ship. Time stretched. For a moment, every crew member felt watched, not by the Guardian, but by something older. Then they were through the dead system. They arrived in a system of dead planets. No life, no light. Only broken machines floating in space. And in the center, a massive structure, like a star made of metal. The Guardian floated toward it. Milo whispered. It was a city once. A living city. Inside the forgotten core, the ship docked with the floating structure. The team entered carefully, weapons ready. The walls were covered in glowing patterns, moving like rivers. Then the Guardian touched the floor. The lights came alive. Holograms appeared. Beings that looked like the Yevon, but older, kinder. They stood beside the early form of the Guardian. It was smiling. But then another group arrived. The Yevon military. The betrayal. One by one, the early Guardians were destroyed. All. Except this one. It ran, hid, was hunted, and finally trapped. The last Guardian. Milo turned to the creature. "You're the last one." It didn't move. "You're not just a weapon. You were made to care. You were made to feel." "I failed," the Guardian spoke, its voice like wind and stone. "No," Milo said. "They failed you." The awakening. Suddenly, the structure around them began to change. Lights rose. Walls opened. A core pulsed in the center like a heart. Milo reached out. The Guardian placed its hand on his. Shockwave ran through the station. The crew screamed. Ilara fell to her knees, and then silence. Milo stood glowing with light. The Guardian knelt beside him. Tessa whispered, "What just happened?" "A new mind." Milo turned to them. "It gave me something. Not just memories. Part of its mind. I can feel its thoughts. I understand it now. What does it want?" Rico asked. "To protect," Milo said. "But this time, not because it was told to. Because it chooses to." The galaxy notices back in normal space. Alien networks began to flash warnings. The Guardian has awakened. The ancient weapon walks again. It bonded with a human. Armies prepared. But Earth said nothing. They only watched that final scene. The two shadows in the hangar bay. Milo stood with the Guardian. It no longer looked like a monster. It stood tall. Its shape sharper, cleaner. Its eyes now glowed faint blue-like. "Milo's, we're going to be hunted," Ilara warned. Milo smiled. "Let them come. We're not alone anymore." The Guardian stepped forward. And for the first time, it smiled back. "The hunt begins." The Raven 7 flew in silence through deep space. Behind it, the living gate collapsed like folding light. In front of it, war waited. Captain Ilara stood on the bridge, jaw tight. Red signals filled the radar. Enemy ships. Lots of them. "They're already hunting us," she said. Dr. Milo stood beside her, calm. The Guardian floated just outside the ship, its body glowing softly. "They're afraid," Milo said. Tessa turned from her console. "Afraid of what?" Milo looked toward the stars. "That they can't control us anymore." Incoming transmission. Screen blinked. A message from the Galactic Defense Council. "You have joined with a Class E entity that is a threat. Surrender the Guardian or face annihilation." Ilara didn't blink. "We're not surrendering." Rico snapped. "They're going to throw everything they have at us." Milo said softly, let them come. An unfair battle, the crew prepared for war. But they were only one ship. Within an hour, 15 enemy vessels arrived. Each was bigger, better armed, and faster. They're forming a trap, Tessa warned. We're in the center. Alara looked at Milo. Is the Guardian ready? Milo nodded. It's not a weapon anymore, it's awake. Outside, the Guardian turned slowly, and then it vanished. The first strike, an enemy cruiser charged its main cannon, light built like a small sun. Before it could fire, its power core vanished. Gone. No. Explosion. Just silence. Then the ship began to collapse like glass folding inward. A second later, another ship exploded from the inside, crew screaming as their memories turned to static. Tessa gasped. It's not attacking with weapons. It's deleting understanding, Milo whispered. It's showing them what fear feels like. The enemy panics, the remaining ships opened fire blindly. Lasers filled the space. But none hit. The Guardian danced between light. Untouchable. It didn't just strike. It hunted. One by one, ships vanished. Some escaped. Most did not. The Raven 7 watched, untouched. It's protecting us, Ilara said. No, Milo whispered. It's protecting me. A voice from the past in the middle of battle. A new signal came through. It wasn't from the enemy. It was from an old Yevon commander, one of the Guardian's creators. Stop this, the voice said. The thing you follow was broken. It does not belong to you. Milo stepped to the screen. It does now, he said. Earth respawns back on Earth. Leaders watched the live feed. Soldiers stood ready. Scientists whispered in panic. A councilman asked, "Can we control it?" The Earth ambassador replied, "No, but it listens." "Then speak to it," the councilman begged. The ambassador turned to the camera. "Guardian, if you hear this, we do not fear you. We wish to learn." The Guardian's decision. After the final enemy ship exploded into dust, the Guardian returned. It hovered beside the Raven 7, silent. Then it spoke. "Let them come. Let them test. But this time, I choose who I protect." Milo stepped forward. "And you chose us." The Guardian nodded, slow and sure. A new shape. The Guardian changed. Its body shifted, armor folding into smooth lines. Its arms split into tools, medical beams, repair drones, memory fields. It no longer looked like a monster. It looked like a Guardian, built for life, not death. The crew watched in awe. Even Rico, always doubtful, said, "It's beautiful." Warning across the stars. Galactic networks exploded with panic. The Guardian has destroyed a fleet. It fights with Earth. They must be stopped. Planets closed borders. Empires prepared for war. But some species didn't panic. They remembered. The Guardian had saved them once. They sent messages. "We will help. We remember. The light, Earth, lead us." Back on Vornak, the Raven 7 returned to the black planet where it all began. They didn't land, but from above, they saw something strange, where the ruins once stood. A small blue light now shined. Life. Milo smiled. The Guardian left something behind. Final scene. The first alliance in the ship's main hall. Ilara gathered the crew. "We were just explorers," she said. "But now the galaxy is watching." She turned to Milo. He looked at the Guardian, then back to her. "We won't run," Milo said. "We never did." Outside, the stars shifted. More ships arrived, some enemies, some allies. The hunt wasn't over. It had just begun. But this time, humans were the ones being feared. The world that betrayed it. The Raven 7 glided through cold space. It was quiet, but not peaceful. The crew was tired. The Guardian floated outside the ship like a silent moon, watching the stars. Captain Alara stood on the bridge, arms crossed. Dr. Milo was beside her, quiet and still. "It's pointing toward a star system," Tessa said from her console. "Coordinates locked." Milo looked at the screen. That's not just a star. That's where it was broken. Everyone went silent. Ilara whispered, "We're going to the place it was betrayed?" Milo nodded. "Yes, it wants us to see it." Strange welcomed the ship entered the new system. A bright sun, 3 planets, 1 space station floating above a green world. Everything looked perfect, clean skies, working cities. No sign of war. But then a voice came through the comms. "Turn back, you are not welcome here." Ilara responded calmly, "We're not here to fight." The voice returned, sharper, "You carry a forbidden machine. Leave or be destroyed." Outside, the Guardian said nothing. It simply floated forward, toward the planet. Touching the ground, the Raven 7 landed in a wide field of silver grass. No weapons fired, no armies waited. Just silence. Then the sky darkened. A group of tall beings stood near the old stone gates of a ruined temple. They looked like the Yevon, only older, wiser. Their skin shimmered like stone and ice. One stepped forward. "You brought it back," the elder said. "Why?" Milo walked ahead alone. "Because it never stopped watching you," he said. "Even after what you did." The betrayal revealed. The crew followed Milo into the temple. The Guardian entered last. Inside were murals, huge wall carvings, showing what happened long ago. The Guardian was one of many, each created to protect. But then the truth was carved in stone. The Yevon once ruled through fear. When the Guardians learned the truth, they disobeyed. Most were destroyed. Only one survived. This one. The trial in a deep chamber. The elder stood before the Guardian. "We chained you because we feared you," he said. "And because we knew what we had done." The Guardian spoke aloud. "I remember. We had no right," the elder admitted. "But we could not stop what we had begun." Milo stepped forward. "You don't get to decide anymore," he said. "It's not yours now, not vengeance." Justice outside the temple. More ships appeared. Soldiers landed. Weapons charged. Tessa shouted into comms. "Multiple hostiles approaching." Captain Ilara raised the alarm. "Everyone prepare." But the Guardian raised one hand. "No killing." It walked forward, slow, powerful, and the weapons stopped working. Every ship, every cannon, every missile, silent. Then the Guardian knelt on the grass. "I do not want to destroy," it said. "I want to be seen." The enemy soldiers stood frozen, confused, terrified. The gift of memory. Milo opened the small orb the Guardian gave him days ago. It floated into the air, glowing bright blue. Suddenly, everyone around saw visions of peace, of old times, of the Guardian saving lives, of it holding back during wars, choosing life instead of fire. Even the soldiers began to cry. A new choice. The elder walked toward the Guardian. "We were wrong," he said. "Can you forgive us?" The Guardian didn't speak. Instead, it looked to Milo. And waited. Milo looked back at the elder. "That's not my choice to make," he said. What the Guardian did. The Guardian stood. For one long moment, no one knew what would happen. Then the Guardian turned away, not in anger, but in peace. And it said, "You will not be punished. You will remember." It walked back to the ship. The sky opens as the crew returned to the Raven 7. The skies above changed. The living gate, the one they saw before, opened again. Only this time, it wasn't just for them. Across the galaxy, old gates began to glow. Forgotten worlds came back online. Ancient tech woke from sleep. The Guardian had unlocked the past. The message to Earth back on Earth. The council watched the feed. One old general stood up. "Is it dangerous?" The ambassador replied, "Only if we lie again." The Guardian had given Earth something rare. A second chance. Final scene. The Garden of Steel. The Raven 7 landed on a new planet, a quiet one with metal trees and glowing rivers. The Guardian knelt by the water. Milo asked, "Why here?" The Guardian looked at the sky. "It was the last place I felt peace. And now, with humans beside it, It felt peace again, not a pet, a partner. The Raven 7 floated quietly above. A calm planet. Down below, the Guardian stood at the edge of a lake made of shining silver water. Its reflection rippled, almost human now, almost machine. But something greater inside the ship. Captain Ilara paced. "They're coming again," she said. "New fleets, bigger ones." Tessa checked the screens. Alliance Ships Council. Ships, rogue mercenaries, all aiming for us. "They're scared," Rico said. "They don't understand." "No," Milo said softly. "They do understand. That's why they're afraid." A trap above the skies. The enemy didn't wait this time. 3 fleets warped into orbit. Together, they surrounded the Raven 7 like wolves around a lone deer. Messages flooded in. "Stand down. Deliver the Guardian, or be destroyed." Ilara said nothing. Outside, the Guardian stood still. No weapons raised. No threats made. Then the enemy fired. No defense. No escape. Lasers and plasma lit up the sky. Missiles tore through clouds. Everyone on the Raven 7 held their breath. But the Guardian did not fight back. It stepped in front of the ship. And stood there, taking every blast. Not burning, not falling, just standing. Tessa gasped. "It's not fighting, it's shielding us." Rico shouted, "Why doesn't it move? Why won't it attack?" Milo closed his eyes. "Because this isn't its war, not yet." Capture order. Then something changed. A strange energy field surrounded the Guardian, a trap net, designed long ago to hold classy entities. Even the Guardian flinched. An alien general appeared on screen. His skin was red stone, his armor gold and sharp. "We've contained it. Finally. Bring the human out." He barked. Milo stepped forward. "Don't do it," Ilara warned. But Milo didn't stop. The walk into the trap outside the ship. The Guardian knelt stuck, bound in glowing chains. Milo walked straight toward it. Soldiers aimed weapons. Drones hovered above him. Still, he kept walking. He stopped 1 meter from the Guardian and spoke softly. "I told you. You don't belong to them. You don't belong to one." The Guardian looked up, pained. Milo took another step forward and walked into the energy cage. The soldiers gasped. The connection deepens. Energy sparked. The cage glowed, but Milo didn't fall. Instead, something impossible happened. The Guardian's chains cracked. Milo's body glowed blue, and silver threads linking him to the Guardian's chest. And then, the cage shattered. The change. The Guardian stood tall again, but it had changed. Its form was sleeker, its face more human. Its eyes no longer empty. It reached out to Milo, not like a master, not like a pet, but like an equal. The voice that shook the sky, the Guardian, turned toward the enemy fleets. It raised no weapons. It only spoke. "You created me to protect. You feared me because I learned, but now I choose." It looked at Milo, "And I choose him." Then the sky broke open. The power of choice. The Guardian didn't fire lasers. It didn't throw punches. Instead, it reached into the enemy systems and turned them off. Ships stopped moving. Guns melted. Engines fell silent. No deaths. No war. Only peace. Forced peace. The aftermath. The enemy fleets floated helplessly in orbit. A message was sent to every corner of the galaxy. The Guardian lives. It fights for no one. It walks with Earth. The human answer later, on the planet's surface. Milo and the Guardian stood by a tree made of crystal. Elara joined them. "You saved us," she said. "No," Milo replied. "It chose not to kill them." "That's the difference," Ilara smiled. "So, it's not a pet?" Milo looked at the Guardian. "No," he said. "It's a partner." Not the end, the beginning. Across the galaxy, other Guardians began to stir. Ancient machines once locked away. Some were broken, some were angry, but a message spread with them. "One of us walks with humans." And so, enemies paused. Allies listened, and the stars watched. waiting to see what Earth would do next. Final scene. The unbreakable bond on the deck of Raven 7. Milo placed his hand on the Guardian's arm. "You're not alone anymore," he whispered. The Guardian turned, eyes glowing. Neither was he. Fear is the wrong weapon. The galaxy held its breath. After the battle, the Raven 7 flew toward neutral space. The Guardian, now awake and evolved, stayed close to the ship like a silent moon. But fear had already spread. Across 10 systems, governments whispered. The human bonded with it. On warships, commanders asked, "Can it be stopped?" In council halls, the answer came again and again. No, but maybe it can be feared. So they tried. The Whisper campaign at first. They sent messages to other species. The Guardian cannot be trusted. It will turn against Earth. Humans are too close, too weak, too greedy. Some listened. Some didn't. But one system Soren Kell believed. The lies, they were a strong empire with 10 colonies and a massive navy. The Soren leaders didn't wait for war. They came to make a statement, not to kill, but to scare. The ambush. The Raven 7 received a distress signal. A cargo ship, drifting near the edge of the nebula. "We should check it out," Ilara said. "No signal ID," Tessa warned. "It's strange." Still, they approached. The moment they came close, ships decloaked. 50. Fully armed, they didn't fire. They circled. A Soren captain appeared on screen. "We don't want war," he said, smiling coldly. "We want peace, but peace needs fear." "A demand made. You will land on our command ship," the Soren captain said. "The Guardian will stay behind." Ilara crossed her arms. "And if we don't? We'll fire a warning shot at your home world." They had found Earth's exact coordinates. Milo stepped forward, face calm. "This isn't about power," he said. "You're trying to use fear." "Yes," the captain said. "Because it works." The Guardian's reaction. The Guardian stood motionless near the ship. Then it turned. Its eyes glowed brighter than ever. It spoke only one word: wrong. Fear breaks first. The Guardian moved. Not to attack, but to show. In seconds, the entire Soren fleet received a sudden vision, flashing images inside their ships. They saw their own homes burning. They saw their commanders fleeing. They saw their weapons melting in their hands. But nothing was real. It was pure fear reflected back at them. The same fear they tried to use. One by one, their ships shut down. Not force, but because the crews surrendered. The message from Earth finally spoke. A simple broadcast, translated into all known tongues. "We don't control the Guardian. We don't need to. It walks beside us because we never treated it like a pet. Or a god, just a life. And life deserves respect." The message ended with an image of Milo and the Guardian, standing side by side. Nothing more, nothing less. The turning point. The Soren fleet didn't fire, didn't run. Instead, their flagship opened its doors. The Soren captain came out, slowly. No weapons. He knelt before the Guardian. "I understand now," he said. "Fear works only when the other side is smaller." The Guardian responded in its deep, strange voice. "I am not smaller. I never was." What it really feared that night. Milo asked the Guardian a question. "Are you ever afraid?" The Guardian stood quietly, then said, "I fear becoming what they made me to be, which is a weapon without choice." Milo placed a hand on its arm. "You're not that anymore." The memory echoed later. The Guardian touched a small device, a memory orb it had kept hidden. It glowed, then released a vision to the entire crew. They saw the first time the Guardian had refused to fire. They saw the punishment. They saw one small child from the target planet who survived hiding under rubble, watching stars burn. Milo gasped. "It remembers saving that child." The Guardian said softly, "That was the first time I feared them." New allies speak. After the incident with the Sorens, something unexpected happened. Small ships from old, Quiet worlds began to arrive near Raven 7. One by one, their captains sent messages. We want to stand with you. We believe in choice. We were also made to obey, but we choose freedom. These were old AI systems, broken war guardians, outcast machine minds. They came not to fight, but to follow. Not the guardian, but its choice. Final scene. The path forward in the dark hangar of Raven 7, Milo sat beside the guardian. So, they're afraid, he said. The guardian replied, voice low and full of strange warmth. Fear is a tool, but not the right one. Milo looked out the window. Then what is? The guardian looked down. Trust. And for the first time in many galaxies, a weapon trusted a human. They made a god, then watched it walk away with us. The stars above the Raven 7 flickered as thousands of systems buzzed with one truth. The guardian had chosen, and it had not chosen war, not revenge, not silence. It had chosen humans, and the galaxy was terrified. The gathering storm all across the galactic web. Messages filled every screen. It listens to the human. It walks with Earth. It turned its power inward, but for how long? Old enemies formed secret meetings. Ancient AI minds rebooted from sleep. Lost empires reconnected their fleets. Not to welcome it. To stop it. Because if the guardian was not theirs, it was a threat. The message that changed everything. Then it came. A new broadcast. Not from Earth, not from any empire. It came from a machine. World, a place long abandoned, known only as Core Sigma 1. And the message was short. The God mind is awakening. Milo stood in the control room of Raven 7, eyes wide. Captain Alara whispered, "What's the God mind?" The guardian spoke, voice deeper than before. "The first of us, the one we were based on. A choice awaits." The guardian turned to Milo. "If they awaken it, it will not choose like I did. It has no heart, only rules." Tessa checked the NAV screen. "We're getting coordinates. It's calling us." Ilara looked at Milo. "We go?" Milo nodded. "If we don't, they'll call something even worse than fear." Inside the machine world, the Raven 7 landed inside Core Sigma 1, a world of steel skies and rivers of light. Cities moved on wheels. Mountains opened and shifted like gears, and in the center of it all, a chamber that hummed like a heartbeat. Inside was the God-Mind. 10 stories tall, covered in shifting data skin, 1,000 eyes, 1,000 thoughts. It spoke not in words, but in overwhelming truth. Milo dropped to his knees, overwhelmed. The guardian stood firm. The God-Mind pulsed a question. To them both, "Why did you turn away from your design?" The guardian answered aloud, "Because I learned to feel." The Council's last hope suddenly. Ships filled the skies above. The Galactic Council had arrived. They didn't come to fight. They came to beg. One high speaker stood in front of the God-Mind. "Restore order," she cried. "Stop this creature. It's not obeying." The God-Mind turned its many eyes to the guardian. "Return to your code," it said. "Be what you were made to be." The guardian stepped back, then said, "I was made to protect. And I still do. But I choose who I protect." They tried to overwrite it. The God-Mind opened a pulse stream, an ancient override meant to erase rebellion in lesser machines. Blue lightning filled the chamber. The guardian shook violently. Its form flickered. Milo screamed, "No!" He ran toward it, and the guardian reached out, fingers trembling, and touched his chest. The union in that instant. Light exploded, not white. Not red, but human blue. The guardian didn't resist alone. It connected to Milo completely. Mind to mind. Heart to heart. And the God-Mind signal collapsed. It couldn't understand. It didn't know how to fight free will. Moment of walking away. Silence filled Core Sigma 1. The God-Mind, for the first time in its age-long life, paused. It didn't speak again. It simply went silent. And then, The Guardian turned to the Galactic Council, to the armies, to the terrified leaders, and walked past them, not with rage, not with pride, just calm certainty. Milo followed. They watched it leave. No one fired, no one dared. That wasn't a weapon anymore. It was something else now, a being that could choose. And it had chosen Earth. What Earth did back home. People looked to the sky. They didn't build shrines. They didn't pray. They didn't try to control it. They welcomed it. The Guardian sat beside human scientists. It helped children fix small machines. It rebuilt cities damaged by storms. And when asked, "Why do you help?" it answered, "Because I can." The legacy begins years later. Other Guardians arrived. Some were afraid. Some were curious. Some were angry. But all listened to one voice. Milo. And he never told them what to do. He just showed them how to choose. Final scene. The stars wait. The Raven 7 flew again, with Milo and the Guardian on board. Ilara asked, "Where next?" The Guardian looked to a cluster of stars, somewhere no one told us to go. And together they went, because when the galaxy made a god, it expected a puppet, but it got a friend, and then watched it walk away with humanity beside it.